Hello, you all. Today I'm going to talk about soups, tomato soup. But first, I took a look at my last few videos where my face was the main thing showing. Yeah, YouTube did a horrible thing. They took the most extreme photo, the most wild image, and made that the thumbnail that you all see. I hate that. I don't want to look like that on a video. I don't care for some of the other self-portrait videos either. I may eventually delete them all and just use external objects as my focus. I've read YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, they all use algorithms to set stuff up, and it's got to be as negative and weird as possible. I know some people can fix their portraits, but as I understand from what I read in like TikTok, your suggested videos get more and more negative, and that horrible, quote unquote, horrible science article about how we're all programmed to remember only the negative. That's survival. That's millions of years of how we survived. Eat something, get sick, you want to try it again, you will remember that for life. Someone took his mother out for a very expensive gourmet lunch. 5 years, well, there was one wilted lettuce leaf in the lettuce salad. 5 years later, that's all she could remember. And if people focus on the negative and the negative weird, that's all they'll experience. And it gets invidious, it gets horrible, because as you get older and older, you fall into the black hole of negativity, and everything around you is seen now as negative. Then it gets a step further. You attract that negativity out there to you. You reach into a pile of apples at Publix supermarket and you pick an apple at random. Oh, as you start to eat it, you find out that there's a hidden rot in the core that came up through the bottom of the apple. You can't see it, but that was the only apple in the whole pile of 300 apples that had that condition, and you got it because you had to be negative, and so you must be negative. There's another stage. That's where you turn things around you to be negative. The negativity need comes first, and so everything around you must comply and parallel and reflect back to you what you are. That has to stop. On to part 2, soups. I've tried so many different kinds of one of my favorite soups, stewed tomato. Of all the soups that I've found, my favorite soup comes out of that can. This can right here. Del Monte, or maybe some other brand, that's stewed tomatoes. What you do is you pour the whole can into a pot, heat it all up, and then take a bowl and decant and pour off all the liquid, leaving nothing but the stewed tomatoes. And as you pour it off, little pieces of tomato could float into the bowl, but make sure they're good pieces and not stems or the skin or whatever. And then if you want to, you can take several of the good slices of tomato and mash them up, put them on a little platter, and have stewed tomatoes along with your soup. And so I found that this soup is so good. They have two flavors. This one, original, and something called Italian. Italian is not much different except it's spicier. And so you have to be careful. Publix, like all supermarkets, have their own house brands, and some of them are good and some are not. So I bought the other day a big hunk of New York style cheese, extra sharp. Well, when I tried it, I might as well have gone out and buy a box of Velveeta, because I could detect the Velveeta within it. I tried another one the other day, I forget the name of the cheese, but it had no flavor. I end up going over to the exotic deli cooler for my cheeses. They come from all over the world. And you can buy ketchup that has no corn syrup in it from Heinz. You can buy jams from Europe that has sugar in it and not corn syrup. Well, that's my rant for this evening. Enjoy. I hope to be back soon if the creek don't rise and all that. Goodbye.